Babies don't know dreams aren't real, so they must think they have some crazy adventures with you every day. Isn't there some evidence that 0–3-month-olds don't even dream the way we think of dreaming? That their life experience is so minimum that their dreams are likely just colors and feelings and emotions. Their adventures are probably just being carried between the 10 rooms they've ever existed in, and drinking milk formula, then waking up to a wet feeling. Quite an adventure. Edit. To those confused about the 10 rooms, I'm talking about including hospital at birth, maybe some doctor visits, and possibly like a grocery store or something. My 3-year-old son came to me the other day and said that he had heard a story in his eyes while he was sleeping. Was my favorite ever description of dreaming. How do you know dreams aren't real? Maybe there's another universe where you live 8 hours a day and sleep the other 16. Imagine if you could access your memories from the time you were a baby. Babies probably don't dream in the same way that a fully grown person would. The most common theories as to the why we dream suggest dreaming is a mechanism to help solidify memory. Most babies have very limited perception for a good chunk of their existence as humans are born not fully developed, which is why infants are so fragile. For the first few months babies can't even see as their brains are still learning how to decode visual stimuli. My 3-year-old son has nightmares a few times a week, and one of them that sticks with me is one of a man on a mountain. He told me no other details that I can remember. Sometimes I can feel the man on that mountain, high above, watching me, waiting. I remember a dream where I walked across a rope bridge over a huge canyon in Brazil and then got off and went on a massive playground before my parents said we had to leave. I was like 2 and straight up thought it actually happened. My 5-year-old son came charging into my room early one morning and he was speaking 100 words per second about something to do with robot dragons and asking me all these questions. So I turned to him and say, "Buddy, I don't know what you're talking about because you were dreaming." He looks me dead in the eyes and says, "But you were there." Not just babies. When I was about 6 years old, I had a dream that my bicycle could fly if I just pedaled it hard enough. It was so vivid and real to me that I nearly wore myself to exhaustion the next day trying to pedal fast enough. Nearly 4 decades later, the sense of utter disappointment still lingers. I honestly think that experience permanently colored my outlook on life. I think I only started having dreams at around age 3 or 4. I remember the first dreams I had, and I remember being confused about whether they actually happened. Having to reckon with a memory of an alternate reality was new at the time. It's either that dreams began at that age, or memory itself was new, and kids below age 3 just don't have episodic memory at all. When I was a kid, I believed with 100% complete sincerity that one time naked women had been climbing all over a power substation we drove past all the time, roosting on the wires like birds, and sitting up there on the transformers. I remember being told I had an overactive imagination and that this absolutely did not happen, but I could not be swayed. I now believe I must have dreamed this. It's been said that babies don't dream until the age of 3. Dreaming requires memories, and the brain isn't developed enough to keep memories. In my experience, baby number 1 dreamt about boobs. He suckled in his sleep a lot. It was adorable. Baby number 2 didn't dream because she never slept. Baby number 3 doesn't exist because baby number 2 never slept. When my baby started randomly crying in his sleep sometimes I figured it was nightmares and it made me so sad to think that he doesn't know what a nightmare is. Like, what if he's dreaming that he's cold and hungry and lonely and I'm standing across the room just ignoring him? Will he wake up thinking that really happened? Sobs. I read this as, greater than Barbies don't know dreams aren't real, so they must think they have some crazy adventures with you every day. I was so confused. I thought the same things about dogs. What would they dream about? Drinking milk, crying and crapping their nappy diaper? Because that's basically all they know. My daughter just turned 3 last month. This morning at breakfast she said, "Dad, you were too silly to my dinosaur. He only likes carrots and chocolate. After breakfast can we be nighttime again and we can ride him and I sit on your shoulders?" 3-year-olds are awesome. I'm pretty certain she gets that. She's dreaming, but this morning she was convinced I could make it night again and we'd go back to where we're dinosaur farmers. Dreams are real. Is there evidence that babies have dreams? I guess I always assumed dreams resulted from more advanced cognitive abilities, but maybe not. My daughter told me this morning she had a dream about me and her stuffed koala. I'm not even entirely sure she understands what dreams are yet, but I like to hope the koala and I got into some silly adventures. No wonder they cry all the time. Being confused about what is real or not is terrifying. Trust me. My mom said that as a baby she had a dream about climbing into the fridge and appearing in outer space. I made a video game about that called Diaper Space. Bro, to this day I confuse dream with real life. I had some weird-ass dreams when I was really little that I thought were actually real. I thought that there was a giant submarine sandwich projected in the sky near my grandparents' house. Kind of like the bat signal but a sandwich signal. It wasn't until years later that I realized it was a dream. Oh well, I guess I'm riding the dragon with Dad to school this morning. Whatever. Man. You wanna tell that wasn't my father the whole time? I take my BB on deliveries. Same with my dog. I can tell when he dreams. I asked him if he wants to go on a walk because he wakes up very suddenly ready for the walk and slowly comes to and climbs back into bed. Wait. Do dogs sleepwalk? People tend to dream what they live, so they probably dream they're back in the womb, eating, sucking on a boob, looking at lights. They're not going to dream they're on a roller coaster, or running away from a tiger. Dogs are probably the same, so maybe they have dream where you leave them for days on end and that's why they are always so happy when you return from work every day. We ask my toddler what he dreams about and for the longest time he'd say bathwater. Weird thing to always dream about, but okay. Then we were talking about dreams and he said that's where the breath water goes and we realized he thinks we're saying drains. I like how we think of babies as a different species. My daughter was 4 or 5 when I had to explain to her that when she got up from a nap, it wasn't a new day. Her mind was blown by this information. This actually makes sense because I have memories with my family that no one else remembers but me, yet they seem so real. I'm not crazy, you are. But their dreams are probably very limited, as they haven't seen or experienced much at all. Lol, you idiots think dreams aren't real. Effing dumbasses. After discussing past events with my toddler, I had to do some heavy explaining that we had not actually just reenacted her favorite Pixar movies as animals. I wonder how many of my memories are of dreams I never realized I was having. Babies can only see about 25 inches away from their face for a few beginning months of their life. Dreams without a developed sense of object permanence have to be wild. I have very few memories from ages 4 on, but I do have one very vivid memory of watching a group of rats climbing out of a painting in the bedroom I lived in from ages 0 to 5 and climbing the walls for a bit before they jumped back into the painting. Mind you, this was a house in which we had one mouse that was noticed in the 18 years I lived there. I must have just stopped thinking about it until like middle school when I remembered the dream and realized how strange it was. I don't dream like that anymore. Perhaps even a bizarre adventure. When do you realize they aren't real? Oh no, this gave me a sad. Have you ever seen a little tiny baby dream cry and bottom lip? It's so sad. Most of us can barely remember our dreams. I doubt babies can at all. Usually when you sleep you too don't know you are dreaming. And when you wake up you forget what dreamed about, and probably it's the same with babies. Dreams are real. Fully grown young-ass adults don't know dreams aren't fake. At what point do they realize that they aren't living multiple realities and the waking one is the only one? Same with our dogs. I mean, even adults confuse dreams with reality sometimes. So you're telling me Rugrats is just about Tommy Pickles' dreams and isn't real? A baby would have to experience some crazy adventure before dreaming of one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to hear more of the best posts.